Welcome back to Mike's Woodshop. This video I'm going to be building the Milwaukee Jobsite drawer organizer cabinet. So going to be a rolling cabinet in my shop, locking wheels, and then on the top I'm going to actually mount my planer. If you'd like to see how I build it, stay tuned. I don't know if this happened to anybody else, but the camera just told me it was too cold, so I had to bring it inside to heat it up. What right now I'm going to do is taking the 2 pieces of plywood, I'm just going to rip it down to manageable pieces so I could cut it or finished cut on the table saw. So, look. Extension cord got frozen. So I cut all the pieces down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drill some pocket holes using my Craig jig. It'll be glue and screw the frame. The drawers I will dry fit. I'll drill my pocket holes, I'll put it all together. Just make sure everything fits, just in case I have to trim something. It's a lot easier to trim it if it's not all glued and put together. So, here we go.
Take my home, and be there, falling in love with you. To me, take my hand.
So I don't know if I was a dope and didn't record or I ran out of battery. Either way, this is the main carcass. I'm going to do the supports now. I just have to measure up how high I'm going. Which I have on the plans here. So the carcass is done. I will mount the wheels as soon as I mount the drawer slides, but before I do the drawer slides, I want to build the drawers so I know everything lines up as far as my drawing. So my plan was to install the drawer slides, then remove the drawer front, and then cut out the profile. Not realizing that once I install the drawer slide, it's going to cover up the pocket hole screw in order for me to take the front face off. So we're going to forget about that idea and take all the fronts off. The other thing I did is I did a nice grain pattern. That's normally what you do when you do drawers, but not thinking I'm going to cut out most of the grain. Not even realizing. So, you know, live and learn. So let's get to work.
Alright, so I'm kind of being lazy. I don't feel like digging out my router. And the router table has a bit in there set to the molding that I have to cut more of, and I don't feel like undoing that. So I'm going to use the fence and the piece that I cut and sanded. This one actually fits and works. So I will measure, set up the fence, and I'll cut all of them one at a time. So here we go.
Alright, all of them are cut. Do a little bit of sanding, install them, and we'll be back. So I'm going to be using full extension drawer slides. I'm going to mount them at the bottom of the drawer. Some people mount them in the middle. Some people mount them at the bottom. It's all up to your preference, whatever you want to do. First off is remove. There's probably about 100 different ways to install drawer slides, but I'll show you. Just be careful of all the grease. It's a little black lever. And just pull it out. I'll try and keep whatever side I'm working on, the piece that comes off on that side, just so that, these are machined, but who knows. There might be a slight difference in one of the slides. First off, I'm using a 1/4 inch ply for the spacer at the bottom. I did the drawers down here, as you can see. I did a 1/4 inch, and then I did a 1/2 inch, which leaves about a 1/4 inch at the top. So that's what I figured. It's all up to the person who's designing it. I kind of bring the drawer slide to the edge, just make sure it's flush. Use a right angle, square, whatever you want. Next off, take one of the 3 screws you're going to use for the base. I like to work in the middle, and I'll use the elongated hole, just so that if I want to play, if this happened to slide back, I want to be able to move it. If you use the solid hole, there's no adjusting. So I kind of use that elongated hole just to line it up. In the front, I'll use this, the solid hole. Same thing with the drawer. Middle hole, I always use the elongated hole. Make sure the drawer slide is down on the piece of wood, spacer. Get just about the dead center. Oh, try not to draw it in too much. I'll pull it forward just a little bit so that it hits the back of the elongated hole, and then what I'll do is I'll take my square and I'll just push it snug so that I know it's flush. What you do is slowly pull this out, and you'll see a single hole at the front. Try and use a magnetic tip. It helps. Pull it out and then do the last screw in the back. What I'll do is I'll leave these in here. I don't need to remove them yet. So when I put the drawer in, I can pull it out and it won't fall over the place. In the meantime, what I do is I usually put these back in just to hear it click, so I don't lose them. How do you lose things in your shop? I don't know, but I usually do. Same thing for the other side. Alright, now when you put the drawer back in, just leave these spacers in there, just so that it evens off the, just make it touching. And then, same thing, just make sure it's flush with the front of the drawer. What I like to do is put the first screw in. Pull it out. This middle slide will move back, and then I'll get the elongated hole. And then, since I can't get to the back screw, what I usually do is just take the drawer out again, screws out. And what I'll do is I will take the back and just put the last screw in the back end of this. Once again in the elongated hole. Guess that's the word of the day, huh? Elongated hole. Now, I guess I could have made a jig or I could have bought a jig to do this, but it's simple. There's only 6 drawers. When I do my kitchen, I will be making a jig for all the drawers, because there's pretty much every cabinet that's at the base is going to be drawers, so I'm going to need it. And then reinstall drawers. Line it up. Sometimes I hear the click. For some reason, sometimes you got it. Yeah. There you go. At least it wasn't working all the way. There you go. Now there you are. And does it work? Let's see. Go. Now on to the rest. So I'm going to install the wheels on the bottom. The cutoff pieces for the drawer fronts, save them. I forgot to say that when I was cutting them out. We'll glue and tack these on, and then we'll come back and we'll install the lag screws with the washer so that the wheel just sits. Sometimes you drop stuff. And then we should be done. So I've cut the blocks. They're about 3 5/16 of an inch. So now I think instead of gluing these in, just in case I ever decide to change something, I'm not going to glue them. I'm just going to tack them in and go from there. Alrighty, so this cabinet is now complete. I have the full extension drawers. I made a little bit of room back here for the times that I will be removing the drawer, taking it to a job site if need be. I mounted my planer on the top, so the other reason why I have that much of a gap is if I want to keep the lid up while I do work. It's a mobile cart. I can move it to the bench, or I could just remove these trays. It's whatever's easier at the time. But a lot of times what I do is I'll leave it in here and then just take a bunch of screws and do what I need to do. But I can open and close it without having to remove it. The handle actually open and close the drawer and fold down. I have a block in the rear that I just tacked with a couple of brad nails. That just keeps the tray from sliding back and forth as I pull and push. So this is a very heavy cart. Has locking casters on it. Definitely comes in handy. I put my nails down the bottom because I don't use nails as much anymore. A lot of it is more exterior screws, drywall screws, yeah, exterior screws, my pocket hole screws, and my everyday deck mate screws. So, and back screws are in there too. Don't know if I'm going to paint it, if I'm going to leave it, if I'm going to clear coat it. I don't know. It's shop furniture. Does it really need to have be all pretty? I don't know. But for the time being, this is how it's going to stay. It'll probably be housed at the end of the bench once I clear out a little bit over there. And just the next project to organize the shop and be able to make things all day long. So if you would like a set of these plans, please head over to my website. I will leave a link down in the description below. Please hit that thumbs up button. Let me know you like this video. Leave a comment down below. I will respond to you. And hit that subscribe button along with the bell to let you know when I put a new video out. And as always, be safe.